I am at Jack Block Park, parked here to start a bike ride. I'm actually going to bike around, I think it's called Duwamish Head. It is the Alki Beach area, and I was hoping for a great view of Seattle. It did look a little hazy on my drive down here, and this park is new to me. And it actually has a nice observation tower too, so we're going to check that out first. I'm going to be riding next along there and around the point. For now, let's check out this cool park. Beautiful. There's actually a ramp up to this observation deck, and the park's guy I talked to said it was okay to take my bike, so that's what I'm doing. Gotta love those lower gears for stuff like this. Wow, that's amazing. You could just sit out here and watch these cranes lowering and raising all these interesting shipment containers and watch stuff at the port all day, I bet. If you were bored with that, there are seabirds out here. I think I'm seeing a cormorant. And there's some more. There's Seattle. There is the Space Needle. And let's see if you can make out Ferris wheel, Great Wheels right there. I don't know the names of all these buildings. Now we're going to continue our bike ride. That was 0.88 miles just zipping around the park. So a little less than a mile. You can actually get down on the beach there as well, it looked like. Really nice little park. Here's Salty's. Great restaurant, pretty pricey, great view. They're all decorated out with nutcrackers. Some interesting art pieces here now. If you ever learn to scuba dive in Seattle, you'll be coming down here for sure. Cove 1, 2, and if I remember correctly, 3. These little areas here where the divers are protected more from currents, so it's great for beginning divers. We used to see octopuses in there, octopi. Man, that Seattle skyline just is gorgeous, even on a hazy day. 1.37. This is where you would land if you take the water taxi from Seattle. You come out here to this dock, and that place used to be, that's in front of us here, used to be an excellent fish and chip spot. Marination Nakai. I'm not sure what it has now. Might have to check that out. Seacrest Pier. That's what that pier is called. And here is yet another cove. In the summer they rent bicycles, and they rent bicycles and kayaks here, so you can have all sorts of fun off of this area. There's some geese. sun feels great. It's freezing out today. Well, I did put my wind muffler on my GoPro, so hopefully that's helping. The mountains in front of us here are the Olympics across the Puget Sound. Let's go out here and see what kind of things we can see in the water. Then we'll go around the corner a little ways. These are buffleheads. They are the smallest diving duck in North America. There's a lot of locks on this. So that's a new trend here, or an old one I didn't know about. The tide's pretty high today. Really pretty day. Really cold. This is really fun though. I'm glad I got out of the house. I had a lot to do. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies. But bicycling is one of my favorites, so I went for it. I'm 2.18 in, and the bicyclists are separated from the pedestrians here by just this little strip of grass. That's kind of nice because this can be a really high volume area, especially in the summer. I am at 3 miles. My goal is hopefully to see the Alki Lighthouse. I don't think you can get to it, but I'm hoping to be able to see it. There's even palm trees growing here. You can see all of the posts here where people can string up volleyball nets and play volleyball. This is a happening place in the summertime. Right now it is beautiful. And down here where I'm heading, there's also a lot of really nice little bistros. Blue Moon Burgers is really good. Never been to Christo's or Duke's. There was something called Pegasus up here, I think. It's really good. Some new places. Ooh, baked goods. Wine, cider, beer, and baked goods. That's a good combination. There's a log house museum that way. Never been there. And there is a little tiny Statue of Liberty. Cool. All right, this is called the Statue of Liberty Plaza. And this statue is donated, presented to the city of Seattle by Mr. Reginald Parsons and the Seattle Area Council Boy Scouts. There were other donors. It was a part of a campaign to recognize the 40th anniversary of the Boy Scouts of America. It stands as a symbol of the freedom and love of liberty in which we all believe, and is a testimony to the citizen activism and generosity of the spirit of Alki Beach community and donors from Seattle and across the country. Looks like they redid her in 2008, maybe. Huh. And she has a very interesting collection of dead wreaths on her head today. This marker says that this is the birthplace of Seattle. On November 13th, 1851, the schooner Exact with Captain Folger landed here, I guess. The Duwamish and other native peoples helped the Alki landing party survive the early years, sharing their space, food, and knowledge. And this honors Chief Seattle, the leader of the Duwamish and Suquamish tribes. Looks like they need to work on this a little. Can't quite make that out. But this honors the Seattle founders, which is a neat piece of history. Almost 4 miles in. The pavement's pretty narrow over there, and there's a lot of people walking and pushing strollers, so I'm going to risk bicycling right in the street with no bike lane. This can be pretty busy at times, but the speed limit's pretty low and traffic volume is pretty low right now as well. If I can go down here and turn around, because I can't get to the lighthouse, but I can at least take a look from outside. No lighthouse access. This is Alki Lighthouse. This lighthouse is still fully functioning and part of a U.S. Coast Guard facility. Public tours are actually offered in the summer. This lighthouse was built in 1913, replacing a post lantern, which was put up in 1887 on this site. It's a Seattle Park here. There's some pigeons. Hey, pigeons. Wait, they're not afraid at all. And crows too. Well, this is the end of this nice road that is closed to traffic. So I think this is my new turnaround point. So my turnaround point was just over 5 miles, right around 5 miles. And I am filming a little on the way back just because I'm going to get some cool views of the city as I head straight for it. And probably my hand just now. Oh, there's somebody swimming out there. That looks refreshing. Huh. And there we have it. We're looking at Seattle again. I mean, we kind of were anyway, but the skyline itself, the Space Needle, and all of the cool buildings. Nice. Beautiful. Cool angle of the port of Seattle there. And maybe you can just make out the West Seattle Bridge, which is how I got over here in my car, and how I will be getting back. And I should be just hitting rush hour traffic. I planned this real well. Well, that was not a long ride, but it was a lot of fun. The total distance I did on my bike was 8.42 miles with virtually no elevation gain. A beautiful day for this. Hard to believe it's November. It was really cold in the shade, actually. A little easier to believe then. But once you got in the sun, it just felt like summer, but without the summer crowds. It's a really good bicycle ride if you just want to stretch your legs, especially if it's like a quiet winter day. You can't really get up in the mountains and there's still ice on the other bike trails. Definitely recommend this ride.